Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawn Hollow today, where I have just realised I've the Nine Souls video, which it was meant to be scheduled for yesterday to released. I didn't. I accidentally scheduled it for today, so it came out at the same time as a VOD. But yeah, we just had a stream. I'm coming down, I think, with a cold or something. Like I've got a very sort of scratchy throat. So I'm just sort of like something's happening, I don't know what. But hello everyone, right now in Fawn Hollow at 6:06 PM on Sunday, September 21st, 2025. Just staying up campsite. Yeah, but it was only a 3-hour stream today because I was like, okay, I don't want to be too crazy when my voice is like, you know? So that's kind of why. But it was still pretty good. Like, it was good in the sense of blueprints of the progress we've made. I will certainly say that we're getting very close to. I'm trying to think how to say without giving away things. Let's say I'm collecting. How do I keep this very vague? 8 things, which are not red. And I've collected 7 of them. And the last one, we had a decent opportunity. We made progress into it, but it's a bit harder than expected to actually get it done. But yeah, what else are we going to talk about? I'm not really sure what we'll chat about today, to be honest. We're just sort of vibing, we're having a good time. I guess we'll talk more about other stuff which happened in the sort of the day, the birthday celebration day. Because I think a major thing that happened is we had like a facial massage at the beginning. Again, I didn't know like what was going to happen in the day. Like one of my predictions was a spa day. If you don't know what's going on, basically my friends were like, hey, book a day off, we're going to celebrate your birthday. You don't have to do anything, we're just going to tell you when, where and what you need to bring. And I said, okay. And the thing that they teased was like, oh, you know, we're going to do a sensory deprivation, but I was like, there's no way we're doing a sensory deprivation for just the entire day. But one of my guesses was a spa day, and the first thing that we did was basically straight in the morning we had a facial massage. I've not had many massages before in general, to be honest. I've had like some sort of back massages, but not like ones that like full on spas. It was just more like over like clothing is probably what I'd say. You know, I didn't have to go down into like a dressing gown or anything, or lay on a table with like candles and incense burning or anything. So this was like my first proper experience. I don't really know what was going on. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. But like I think I even said to massage therapist, I was like, I've not done like any of this before. I don't know what's going on. So yeah. But the thing I do remember though, at least, is like we went into the room and it was a facial massage. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just sort of like lie down here and this will be fine. But she was like, no, you do have to like strip down to your underwear. And I was like, okay, I guess. There is like a towel which you put over top of yourself, so it's not just like you're sitting there naked or anything. And part of me was sort of like, that seems highly unnecessary. I guess, you know, I was wearing a dress, so I don't know what else you would do. But I still had like bike shorts on underneath, because I still just kept that on. Modesty shorts, one might say. I mean, yeah, it was basically, because it turned out it wasn't just like a face massage, it was like face, scalp, and like shoulders and arms as well, as it turned out. It was very encompassing. It was like an hour long, I think. Felt like it was significantly shorter, like, and I super zoned out for I think basically all of it. And what can I say is, I thought it was amazing. Like, I was never really sure if I would be a spa person, a massage person or not. Like, because on one hand, can I sort of like meditate and zone out? Yes, constantly. You know, like I can fall asleep during like almost anything. But also, I have a very, you know, if I just need to sort of like clear my mind and like meditate, I can do that depending on the situation. But on the other hand, I can get restless while doing things. It's not so much like, I think, on the scale of one day, as I'm finding out. I think it's more like if I'm doing multiple days in a row of not doing something, as I found out on like an all-inclusive sort of holiday, if I'm doing that for like many days in a row, I will start to get antsy and bored. But I can do it for like a little bit. For the things which is like an hour, could I like stare out an ocean and just reflect upon my life? Yes, absolutely. So I'm sort of somewhere in between, you know. But I couldn't do it like 2 weeks or just like relaxing like by the beach, I suppose, every day or something. That's too much. But yeah, I don't know. I think if that changes as I get older as well. I think I'm probably more better at being more chilled out and relaxed with this sort of thing. But we'll see. Yes. So, what I was going to say about it was, I don't know necessarily. It was a facial massage. It had a lot of things. Like, I would tell you what products they used on me, but I don't have it. Like, my friend took it by accident, really. But she gave me a little booklet afterwards, which had like all the sort of like cleansing products and oils and stuff they used. She I don't even know what steps she takes. I assume she started off with like a full cleanse of like my face and then put on some creams and massage it in with like a face mask. I don't really know. It was just sort of sensations. I just kept my eyes closed throughout the entire thing. She put like hair oil in my hair and like sort of massaged my scalp and let that sit in for a while. And then she sort of got like hot towels to like wipe my face and that sort of, I don't know how else to describe it, but it was a very, very ethereal, probably is a better word. I was going to say surreal, but it's not surreal in the slightest. Ethereal sort of experience. Where I was just like, whoa, I'm like so at peace. I'm like 100% relaxed. And it felt great. You know, like she put like a face mask on and then she moved down to like massage like my shoulders and then like down to my arms and hands. And I was like, I didn't even know this was included, but yeah, I'm not going to say no, obviously. And yeah, I super jived with it. I was like, I could absolutely do this again at some point. Like, many times over, I'm sure. That definitely surprised me in a sense, because I was like, I didn't know if I would jive with a spa that often, like, because the things I picture from a spa is like, you know, sitting in like a jacuzzi or something, or having like a mud bath. Some of that doesn't appeal to me, I think, that much, but I think a massage, because I think it's kind of like an active passive thing. Just sitting there, I think I would, unless I fell asleep, probably would be a bit boring after a while. If I had to constantly be awake for the entire thing, like a mud bath or like a jacuzzi, which, you know, I don't like vibe with the jacuzzi itself all that often, but I vibe with hanging out with like friends in the jacuzzi. That's kind of fun. But the massage thing is like, I guess it's active, but it's like I'm not actually doing anything as the massager, masseur, massage therapist is the one who does everything. So I'm not saying it's active for me, but it's more like something is actually happening, right? But yeah, it does make me want to try like a full body massage now. We did a facial massage because it was like something which most of us hadn't tried, and then they were like, oh, dear darling would probably want to try something which she hasn't tried before, and I've mentioned that I've done like at least a basic level of full body massages before, but I haven't done like the whole shebang, you know, face down in that special sort of bed with a whole cut out area for your face, with oils and everything, and the sound therapy and the candles, etc. I think it'd be pretty good. Like, I feel like I have pretty decent posture, but not amazing posture, like all the time. Sometimes I find myself like sort of craning my neck forward, which is not a good idea, and sometimes my shoulder is a bit stiff. So I'd imagine it would feel incredible. Maybe it wouldn't. I genuinely have no idea. Maybe I'd do it and be like, this sucked, I would never do this again. But it certainly, I would say, piqued my interest. And maybe, certainly, want to try, at very least, to give it a shot in some sort of obscure, abstract way. I don't know what opportunities might even possibly arise from that, but yeah. Like, I think it'd be cool. Like, we basically did have a spa day, and I spoke about the sensory deprivation tank, and I was like, it turned out sensory deprivation wasn't as like interesting as I thought it was going to be. Mainly because it didn't feel as deprived of senses as I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be literally feel like all of my senses have been removed, but no, it feels like you're floating in water in a dark room. So it kind of does, but I don't think it would be something I would leap the opportunity to do too much more in my life. But I am curious now about doing like a full-on spa day, you know, facial massage, back massage, feet massage, I don't know, tribal mud bath, hot coals, pampering, all that sort of thing. That I'm very curious about. Because now I'm sort of like, will I even like it? I don't know. Maybe I would, maybe I won't. But that's what's most fascinating about it to me. But the facial massage at least was a ticking that box in that right direction. I was like, yeah, you know, I did pretty much like this. So I think the opportunity's there. Just, sorry, the potential's there. The opportunity will be something else, which will have to come in more externally. Yeah. Trying to think what else to really say about it. It just is, it was really nice. And then afterwards, like, my skin felt glowing. Like, I saw my friend, and he literally went, "Dear darling, you're literally glowing." And it was because there was a load of oil on my face, so I was literally just, like, shining, I guess. But it felt great, I would say. I felt great afterwards. I felt rejuvenated and everything. And it was only the start of the day. Which is why I'm, like, imagining it as a full day. Like, that was just, like, the first half, and then you have, like, 4 other, like, massages throughout the day or something similar of relaxing nature. I'd be like, that sounds, you know, sounds like it could be, honestly, great. And I'm just supremely curious of what that would even feel like. But yeah. What else to sort of say about it? Afterwards, the massage therapist said that I had amazing skin, apparently. None of the other massage therapists said that about my other friends, which I don't know if I should really take that to face value. I was also the only one who got a leaflet about the products I used, and, you know, by that, you know, you can interpret that being like, oh, you know, I should feel great about that sort of thing, you know. But I'm also like, I was like, maybe is this some sort of like gender coded sort of thing, because it was me and 3 other guys essentially. So it's sort of just like a, well, were they just like, you know, dear darling, she's a woman, she's gonna want the beauty products, in which case, tut, assuming gender roles. I didn't buy any of the products. I was just like, that's nice. Would my friends have bought them? Probably not, but that's not the point. Yeah. At least it did feel good to be complimented on my skin. It's not really something genuinely, it's just genetics. I don't really do much to sort of properly look after my skin like I should. I do have some skincare stuff, which I use sometimes, but I know, I just got kind of lucky, I guess. So yeah, I would 100% do like a facial massage, any sort of massage again. I do want to try a full body massage, just out of curiosity's sake. I don't know what I'd feel like it afterwards. I think the worst thing that could happen would be like, if I did it and then I was like, oh, you know, I can't do anything but this now, you know? If I felt like, oh, this was, like, I need this in my life as mandatory. If that happened, then I'd be like, wow, that seems a bit troublesome. Unless I was super rich and was like, okay, I have my own personal massage therapist who comes in every morning or something. I'm not that rich, though, so that's not going to happen. But would I turn that down if I was that rich? Nope. Absolutely not. Yeah. Because I thought a facial therapy thing would be just sitting in a chair and then it would just be fine like that. I was surprised it was like a full-on experience, but I guess they just had the 2 rooms. Anyway, I remember afterwards it was also really awkward. Well, it wasn't that awkward. Like it was mildly inconveniently awkward. Where she said like, oh, can you fill in the form afterwards, and when you're ready, you know, you can get up or something. And I was like, okay. Then I asked her, was like, wait, did you say form? And she was like, yes. And then I was like, okay. And so I got changed and everything, and I was like, wait, I don't know if I was meant to like stay in here and wait for her to come back with a form, or if I was meant to leave and she had a form. And when I saw there was a form on the table and I looked at it and I was like, what am I signing from this? Just because I had apparently no one else got that form as well, so I generally don't understand really what's going on. Or why I was the only one who necessarily had to sign it. Something going on which doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. Yeah. I think I was also the only one to only get offered like the hair oil thing as well. That's... I don't know. What else to really say about it? It just sort of... I was just like there, and then she was like, oh, you know, she knocked and was like, I was just checking that everything's okay with you. And I was like, oh, you know, I was like, is this a form I was gonna like fill in? Like, I felt so very lost. But then it was just, you know, it was all completely fine. And then we left afterwards and it was all good, essentially. But in that moment, I was like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a fish out of water. But yeah, I don't know. It was a cool experience. Would I do it again? Yeah. No question about it. 100% I'll do it again. And on that note, I think I'll round this episode of it. So, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope we see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time. Bye bye for now.